on to our new topic. Yeah,
Lovely segue.
that's a good segue. Moving on to our new topic, we're going to be talking about vegetarianism. And Aniruddh, do you want to just give a quick definition of what vegetarianism is?
Okay, so I'll define vegetarian as I think that's simpler than vegetarianism
Yeah,
because they are synonymous with each other. And I
indeed.
think a vegetarian is someone who does not eat fish or meat, even though fish is considered a type of meat. I don't know the practicalities of it, but yeah, it's someone who doesn't eat fish or meat. And so both Dylan and I have been vegetarian since birth, initially religious, and for me now it's more
Choice.
moral, more yeah, a moral choice that I've made. I mean, my dad eats meat, and my
Yes.
mom used to eat meat.
Your dad still
Um,
eats meat.
yeah,
I thought he turned fully veg.
no, but it's like a bit of yeah. So my dad eats meat. My mom used to eat meat up until she was about 20 or something.
Ireland just scored in Champions League just before you.
Okay. And yeah, it's a choice now because they've given me the choice. They said you can eat meat if you want to eat meat. We'll hold nothing against you. But both Dylan and I have chosen to be vegetarian.
Mm.
So, Dylan,
Yep.
why are you still vegetarian?
It's a difficult question, I won't lie to you, because while it's a moral choice for me to not eat meat, I do also feel like I'm not pressured, but I'm definitely influenced by my grandparents and my parents. Now, my parents aren't the same as yours, where they're like they won't hold anything against you. They probably will, in the sense that they have raised me and they have very strong core beliefs on vegetarianism that again, it's the main thing of harming animals for your own like ability to eat, right? And I would personally say that if I was to eat meat, I would be doing a disservice to them and their teachings. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
that makes sense. But apart from them influencing you, is there any drive within you to want to eat meat?
No, that's the thing, actually. No, there isn't. There is no drive because I have always stated that I think eating meat when you can get the same benefits just being vegetarian, but it might be a little bit more quantity or a little bit more variedness, and the food still tastes as good, then it's fine. I don't need to eat meat. So there's never been a drive. There's never been a temptation. When I was younger, there was purely because I was really curious. But once I've learned about a lot of these type of things, no, there's never been a
Yeah,
real drive.
yeah, I think that's the exact same thing. I do feel, even though they've told me I can eat meat if I want to, because it would be hypocritical of them not to, I do feel, especially with my grandparents who are like staunch vegetarians,
Yes, yes.
um, like they literally won't sit in the same room as a meat eater sometimes, unless like you go out obviously to a restaurant. But they would, I feel as if I wouldn't be making them proud, and ultimately that's what I want to do. I feel like it's almost my job as a grandson to make my grandparents proud.
Mm,
But I also think, from my point of view, um, I don't eat meat because I feel I owe animals something. I mean,
yeah.
organizations such as the EU, even though we're no longer part of it anymore, it's still a legitimate organization, and it's deemed animals as sentient
Mm.
beings, meaning they do have thoughts and feelings just like us. And I feel as if, I mean, you look at, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, when you see like a chicken, even
Mm,
though chicken may be smaller than us, even though it may not be able to fight back, it may not be as technologically advanced as us humans.
mm.
I think if you just think about the fact that chicken will have a future, the chicken will have children, it will
It has a
continue.
capacity to reach its full potential.
It has a capacity to reach its full potential, but then you say no, you put them in cages the sizes of A4 pieces of paper, you absolutely destroy their quality of life. And I like to bring up the fact they are sentient beings, as I said before. And you're doing this, it's so immoral, it's so
In your
wrong, and
in your
yeah,
opinion.
it just doesn't fit right or sit right with me. The
Mm,
fact that people are exploiting animals who are innocent. I mean, what has an animal ever? What has a chicken ever done to us?
mm,
And taking them and eating them for pleasure.
yeah,
And then I think what also it doesn't necessarily annoy me, but I also find it quite ironic is meat eaters who say, um, "I'll eat a chicken, but I won't eat something like I don't know a crocodile or
yeah,
something."
yeah. It's like if you're gonna commit to it, you got to commit to it. Like at the end of the day, you're eating an animal. Like,
Yeah, and I just don't understand it,
mm,
and I feel as if I don't know if I'm probably missing something. I don't think I'm missing anything. I've thought about this long and hard. But if I am missing something, please feel free to criticize us or explain your views. But I don't think you can look at a chicken and say, "Oh, that's more edible than a crocodile would be." Though
it's
crocodile may
probably
have
easier
a
to kill than a crocodile, but it doesn't make it more edible.
Yeah, though crocodile may have a more rough exterior, it might be more tastier to you for all you know.
Yeah,
But it's the fact that you're not willing to try, but you're willing to judge, if that makes sense.
yeah. Yeah, I think for me it's more of the case of I'm happy for you to eat meat if you want to, but
Yeah,
I just don't see the point in it. Again, like practically, vegetarian food and really good and high quality and high protein, high healthy vegetarian food might be a bit more expensive, but I'm willing to make that decision just so I know that morally I'm somewhat a good person. And that's my opinion. Like you can disagree with me. I'm happy for you to do that. You do your own thing. But eating meat just doesn't sit right with me. It just
yeah,
and I won't lie, I have tried it by accident. Like in Barcelona when we went on a school trip, they fed me some meat pasta. I didn't know what it was because it was disguised, and I tasted it and I was like, yeah, this don't taste vegetarian because if it would have, I would have tried it before. And then like when I was 5, I was at a friend's birthday party and I had pepperoni pizza. One, I just didn't like it. I really didn't like it.
yeah.
So it's just kind of
But
like, yeah,
yeah, but I
mm,
mean, I'm not trying to convert anyone to
no,
vegetarianism. That's
no,
also something I absolutely hate, is when you see people protesting, violently protesting, especially like sealing down fridge sections of supermarkets and saying you're not allowed to eat meat or something. And I think that's just completely wrong.
yeah. On
And
TikTok, there's this woman called like Miss Vegan Teacher or something.
oh yeah, the
Like,
vegan teacher.
yeah, it grinds my gears because it's like you're destroying from the actual purity of vegetarianism, which is you don't eat any animals. And by destroying someone's livelihood, for example, by getting rid of a shelf at a supermarket and making people have to work again for that, like you're not a good person for doing that, for forcing your ideals on someone. Like
Yeah,
you can disagree. The best way to do it, I think we've stated this a few times on very interesting and controversial topics in this podcast, is conversation. If you can convince them or you can allow them to reach the conclusion that vegetarianism is the right option for them through your words, that is a much better achievement. Convincing one person to do that through your words, then maybe 5 people through ripping up and tearing down a whole supermarket, that's a better achievement
yeah.
because you're
And I
still
think
staying true to your core principles.
yeah, I think that's just the whole thing. It's just about conversation. It's
Mm.
just about not it's like Extinction Rebellion. Though it's a different issue, I think both of us can agree that climate change is an awful thing that we should
Climate
be
change
doing.
and world hunger will be the two biggest things that we face,
Yeah,
along
and
with
I think we
overpopulation.
should. Oh, sorry, and I think we should stop. We should try and prevent it as much as we possibly can. But I think in order to do so, I don't think stopping cars on the road is the best form of doing so because you just make
Yeah,
people more angry against it.
yeah,
You you stop health services such as ambulances being able to help patients. And yeah, I think conversation and the art of conversation is just important. And I think only then you will learn.
yeah. Because if you have a calm person who's willing and to be open-minded, and then you can convince them through, again, the art of conversation, that will actually have a better long-term effect than just ramming it down someone's throat and then them forcibly being, like, moved into this new ideal. So,
Yeah.
if there's one thing that I want, like, you guys to take away, and I think
Well, can
Aniruddh.
I just quickly just say
Yeah.
there's this really good quote by someone called Daryl Davis. I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but he is a African American, and he's actually talked to members of the KKK, and he's been on the Joe Rogan podcast, I believe, and he's done his own documentaries and stuff, and he's also been on the Russell Howard show,
Mm,
and he's just a really interesting person in terms of the fact that he becomes friends with people who you wouldn't necessarily associate him to be friends with,
mm,
because he becomes friends with these members of the KKK. And the quote that he says is that when two enemies are talking, they're not fighting, they're talking. And it's when the conversation ceases that the ground becomes fertile for violence. I think ultimately,
mm,
any change you wish to make, anything that you want to do, I think it must be driven by the art of conversation.
mm. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I think if there's one thing that we both want you to take away from our talk on or our podcast on vegetarianism, it's not that we're forcing you to become vegetarian. For me, it's just think about it. That's all I ask. Think about it. What is your opinion on it? And if it is that you just really like eating meat and it provides you, with a lot of happiness because you're eating a nice steak or whatever, fair enough. But for me, it's more than that. What I eat is a symbol of who I am, for me.
Mm. Yeah.
And I just urge and I would encourage you to think about that. Like, just try it for a few days. Think about it. Think about being vegetarian. It might be quite interesting. It might be terrible. I don't know. But think about it.